Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of 11:52 a.m. on the Eastern Time on December 27th on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a good week and also, Merry late Christmas and also early Happy New Year's and also Happy Kwanzaa, which I believe is starting on the 26th on Monday so far. Ethereum coin $1,210, about 1.4% so far. As of this market open today, it's been relatively suppressed, I would say, across the spectrum. Crypto is definitely hindered, as you can see across the spectrum. The altcoins are a little bit more dampened, down about, at the worst level, 4%. At the least severe level, down about 0.5%. Binance coin seems to be up, but it seems like it's just doing its own thing. With respect to the index front, we are seeing more of a relatively red day, which is something we've been expecting. As we've been talking about this, many times in the past, because of the fact that we are in this pattern formation of this reverse head and shoulder. That what we need to do for us to incentivize a reversal on a market front would be in weeks and months out, we ideally should form some sort of a secondary shoulder in this reverse head and shoulder. And if you look into the weekly chart, you could see that we're about to form a cross section, a death cross downward. But is it going to be a severe one? I would say no, because we are relatively neutral at the 46 out of 70. And the daily, we are, still looking some room to go down. We are at the 44 of 70, so not too higher up. We do have some room to technically fall down to, and I think if we just look at the gauge, we are at the neutral level. The next level down is gonna be somewhere around 35 all the way to the low, the high 20s, so 28, 29ish. Okay. And on the crypto side, it seems like we have not really moved so much so far, but it is indicating a more of a relative bearish pattern, a minimal one, because we are relatively fused together. So that means like the movement in terms of the swing on either up or down is not going to be significant. But we are on the opposite side of the spectrum. We cross up for quite some time. We've been very extended for quite some time as well. If you really look closely on the top, and I think maybe I could just tweak the chart a little bit higher, you could see that more clearly. You can see that we're very, very extended for quite some time. But on a monthly out, you could see that we are looking to kind of glide and eventually land. And I think we do have some room to come down to at the 41 out of 70. Okay, take a look at the media front real quick. It seems like, the news are relatively suppressed. Maybe I should shrink my face because it seems like I'm like blocking everything. Apologies. So let me know if the size is okay. I don't know if you want to watch the video because of my face anyway. So anyways, on the top news, seems like the biggest box on the left corner would be, it seems like there is some dampening pressure on the auto industry in 2023. But obviously, as we know, Q1 is typically a slower auto season compared to other months and quarters of the year because of winter, and people typically don't buy cars during winter time. And also with respect to China, a lot of EV companies are, settled there, like, NIO, like Li Auto, Xpeng, all of these Chinese EV companies. Chinese New Year happens around like the early February timeframe, right? So and in a festive, just like historical festive holiday spirit, February is like a shorter month in terms of operation. So many people will be celebrating Chinese New Year, so they won't be technically working in the factory. That could potentially slow down the projections on a top line revenue and obviously earning perspective. So something that we have to kind of look out for. But it seems like with respect to NIO, the EV maker, it did announce a cut in delivery guidance for the fourth quarter because of the COVID situation, but also with respect to the geopolitical tension that we're still experiencing. And then some other news. Seems like Southwest Airline wants more flights cancellations ahead as meltdown draw federal scrutiny. It seems like, the airline industry, we are experiencing a massive shortage. People are fleeing away from working in the airline industry. It is a tough tough job, and there's also a decline in terms of supply, for airline pilots. So it seems like airline companies are really trying to hold on to their breath, like try to hold on to the ledge at the moment right now. They have to pay higher wage to, obviously, to the pilots. They have to pay higher wage to the cabin crews, and also like the airline crews in general. While at the same time higher gas costs, with the uncertainty around the demands because of COVID. Airline industry has been suffering quite significantly for the last couple of years. So unless there's some sort of a bailout, which will just only further dampen the economy, because like the bailout technically means like the U.S. Feds have to print more money to rescue these companies. It'll just make it more of a downward spiral collectively. So that's not something we want. So until a certain point, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days, like one of these airline companies might actually go belly flopped. I think especially the smaller ones. And I'm not going to name any names, but I think based on my recent experience flying to Miami, we know which airlines are we talking about right now. But anyways, so the news are definitely a little bit more dampened. I would say it's less active, but collectively definitely more concerning, as we are ending this year on a relatively red note so far. And then other news that you see more trivial is like just FTX news. Seems like there's still some like regurgitation, some repercussion type of news that we need to kind of be worried about. So something we have to think about. Okay. And then some other news, like this is more just some news around Blizzard around like the US because of like just global warming, but like this winter has been relatively interesting. The winter season has been quite bipolar, if you may. Like one day is like kind of cool, and one day is like very warm for some reason. So it's like very fluctuating, which I can understand why it drives people crazy, especially in New York City in a very competitive ecosystem like this. Anyways, so nothing really need to too alarming so far. I think we might be just technically ending this year on a relatively similar notes as we are right now, unless we hear some black swan news right before the New Year's Eve. But it's a relatively shorter video today, and let me know if you have any questions. In the meantime, I do have a meeting in 15 minutes, so I'll hop onto that one. But appreciate you, and again, Merry late Christmas and Happy early New Year's. Take care.